Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. You're at the Thrifty Journal Shop. My name is Amber. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy that you stopped by. Today I am just going to share some things I've been working on. I've been playing in my little trashy leaf journals, and I actually made this one on camera after I had made these two. It's a longer tutorial, but I'll still link it down below if you're interested in watching that. Basically, what I did was I took a recycled box for all of these, and I wanted to give it like a textured kind of, I don't know if leather is the word, but I just wanted it to look like kind of rugged and weathered. So this is just using tissue paper, and then I covered it with Mod Podge and I let it dry, and then I just went over it with some paint. It's really sort of raw and scrappy and trashy. I like that kind of look, colorful. And then the cover here, this is when the leaves were still pretty green. So I glued the leaf on, and then I just sort of went around with a Sharpie, and I added some paint, and then I just drew the lines here using just a Sharpie, and then added a little cluster here. And then this one, same thing. I just used different color paint, and I like the size of both of these. I love big journals, but I feel like every journal kind of has its place. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are on that. If you have different types of journals you work in, whether you work in art journals or junk journals or glue books. It's nice to have smaller journals because sometimes if you're just wanting to put a little bit on a page, or if you sit down to a large page, maybe you feel like you have to fill all that page up. And I don't know, the littler journals are just, they're kind of fun. You can work on them at night. I call this like my little pocket journal. You can travel with these type of journals. And also, like, I'm not worried about this journal getting tossed around. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to share just some really fun things I've been doing with leaves. And I've got lots of stuff I've been doing with leaves. I'm going to do a separate video on that. Been kind of making some clusters, just playing around. But I wanted to show you a couple of my spreads. And so honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing half the time. I just play around. I get out my paints, I get out my glue, and I just create. And it's very freeing that way. I don't come from an art background. In high school, I took every art class imaginable. I loved my art teacher. She was awesome. And I've always gravitated towards art, but I don't have any sort of professional background. And nothing against professional backgrounds, but I'm really pretty thankful and grateful that I don't have that kind of background, because it just gives me more room to like explore freely. I don't have expectations or perfectionism. I'm not a perfectionist, which I actually really love. And I'll explain that a little bit. So I take pride in what I do. I've always been somebody who works hard and wants to do a good job at whatever avenue in my life, because I've had lots of different career paths. So I've always strived to be good at my job and compassionate and a hard worker. I don't know if it's the artist in me that's always sort of been like a free-flowing kind of person. I gravitate towards things not being perfect and raw and real, and just the way that it is. And so when I discovered junk journaling and art journaling, it was very much a freedom for me, because I felt that it was just, I finally felt like I found a place where I belonged, if that makes sense. Like, this is it. I can just create freely and just see where it takes me, and see what my style is. And there are days where I feel like I have a style, and then there's days where I feel like I'm still learning my style, and I'm learning as I go. And I'm finding that I'm just drawn to all different kinds of ways to journal. glue booking, mixed media, and I don't know what I'm doing. So I am just sharing with you and hoping to inspire others just to get out and create freely and to have fun and see where it takes you. And it's helped me in a lot of different areas of my life. I've used journaling and art journaling and, glue booking to work through grief and to deal with at different times in my life to deal with difficult times. And I've used it in all aspects of my life. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I hope that it inspires you to just create how you want to create and not compare yourself to others. I know that's easier said than done. So I just wanted to show you what I've been doing with some leaves. And here's some clusters that I've been making too. And I'm going to do a separate video with those. But I've just really been having fun with leaves. And what's really interesting is that I've picked these leaves. I think these were a couple days ago, and they're still nice and soft. They still have this nice textured feel to them. And I just used tacky glue and just glued them on. And I'm just interested to see what happens. I've got some spreads where I had leaves years ago and they still kept their color, but they got really dried out. Okay, and then here's just another fun thing to do with leaves. I was experimenting with my jelly plate and I was actually using these leaves on my jelly plate. And then I just pulled them off and they had all this pretty color. And then I did use them, I glued them on here with some tacky glue. But I love this look because it looks like crunchy and you can tell I used a lot of glue, but it just gives it such a cool look. And then I just added some magazine pages, some words out of a magazine, just using leaves. So fun. And look at this one, how vibrant this one is. And this is still nice and soft and just, I love the feel of it. And look at all of the colors in there. So I just glued it, on this page. And a lot of these pages in here are just using scraps. I like to use scraps, children's book pages, junk mail, thrifted things, paper bags. But I just wanted to share this with you because these just turned out super cool. And then I've used some junk in here just to kind of keep track of some things that I like. Like this was some really good trail mix that I liked. So I just kept the label and just added these leaves. Let's see, I've got some more. Oh, this is just so pretty and it's still nice and soft. The shape of this leaf, and this is just some vintage wallpaper, and I just glued it down. It did stick to the wallpaper because wallpaper can be kind of tricky. This side sticking glue. I mean, this side usually takes elements and glue and paint really well, but this shiny side has a tendency to not so much. But it did. It took my tacky glue, and then I just added some magazine lettering. Here's the cluster I worked on. And this is interesting because this leaf was really actually, oh, and here comes the sun. I moved my camera and this was actually nice and soft. And now it's got crinkled. But I made a cluster using a leaf. And like I said, I am going to do another video. I'll probably try to upload that tomorrow. I've got all sorts of fun things I did with leaves and just paper, and then with real leaves and paper leaves and fabric leaves and stuff. So I thought that was just really interesting looking. Look at that page. So this page is just using like acrylic paints and on music paper. And I just used my swiping method with like like an old credit card. And then I just glued the leaf on. So pretty. Let's see if I have any more in here. Now this one, I covered this leaf up. I don't know, I might have done this spread a little bit differently because this leaf is kind of like blending in, but you know, this is just me experimenting and playing around, but I really liked this quote. Through life, I've remained happy and good luck is on my side. I have everything that anyone could ever want from life. And I just thought that was beautiful. So that leaf though is just gorgeous. And that was just using that on my jelly plate. I know I have one more spread in here. Oh, this was, you know, this was just using some of my fodder that I made. I had a video on that. I will link it down below. And I just did some easy collage. Okay, and this spread, I just thought this turned out super cool. This is like a liner for like on my air fryer, and I guess it's like an equivalent to like a deli wrapper. It's that same kind of feel. And I just took some acrylic paint and just smushed it. I just squirted some acrylic paint and then just squished the deli paper down, let it dry, and then I tore it in half and just glued it down. And then I just added these leaves. And I just think they're gorgeous. Look how the color has remained in them. These ones are still nice and soft. And then I just went through and added some magazine cut out little words. And you could use, I mean, if you have stickers, you could use stickers, or if you have little, you could use a stamp set, you know, anything to add words. I just thought that is really cool. And that is just using leaves. So now yesterday, this leaf was actually nice and soft, and overnight it dried out. It probably has something to do with like the oxygen. I don't know. I'm not a scientist by any means, but today I went out and picked some more. So these, because most of them outside now are dried up, but I did find some that still sort of had that softness to them. So then I just wanted to show you a few things that I did with the leaves. And I'm going to show you these in a separate video, but I just went ahead today and I was making little clusters just using, these are just using my paper scraps and tickets. I did sew these, but you wouldn't have to sew. This one I added a little fabric. So I just found these little leaves out on a tree and I just thought they were cute because they were little. So those are some of the ones I worked on. I basically just wanted to show you today what you could do with just leaves from outside. Let's see. Then this is my little pocket journal. And I will do a full flip through of these at a later time. Here is just super simple. I love this little kitty. I got these little cards, these little Edgar Allan Poe with this tassel in a set, and I just love them so much. But I just glued this leaf right on the paper, and I think it's just beautiful. And then here's just a cluster that I made. Let's see, I've got another one in here. Oh yeah, so that is another one of the leaves that I used on the jelly plate. And then I just glued it back. This paper sack I had already put some color on, and then just added some fun stickers. And here's more of that liner. And I'm going to experiment more with this deli paper because it's just a lot of fun to play with. So these are just some of the papers that I put in this little guy. And it's so scrappy and fun because it's just all sorts of scraps of paper. I've got junk mail envelopes in here. I've got fabric. I put some fabric pockets in it. And it's just so tiny and fun. And it's just my little pocket guy. And it just goes everywhere with me. And I had a lot of fun creating in it, and just using some of my fodder and magazines, and just really simple, fun journaling. And I find it very relaxing to do this. And I don't really think a lot of it through, which is fun. And I'm really drawn lately to glue booking too, because glue booking can be very simple. You know, I just really wanted to share some simple spreads with you today on just taking leaves and putting them down on paper and, you know, maybe playing around with some paint or just gluing them on a page. I mean, that I just glued on that page. I think it's beautiful. Gorgeous. So guys, let me know what you're working on. Let me know what's, you know, if you're working in like a glue book or a trashy journal, or if you have other ideas that you would like to see. I appreciate all of the feedback, and I will work on putting out the video with the different clusters and things that I was working on. So I hope you have a beautiful weekend. It's Saturday. Get outside and go collect some leaves and let me know if you play around with them. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you like the video, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing. That would be awesome. And have a very creative, colorful day, friends. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.